Hey everybody, so welcome to this week's industry news. We've got a bit more news to talk about this week, as it being the second week of the year. So let's get right into it. Press the correct button. Okay, so this is news that Alien Blackout has been announced as a kind of sequel to the very well received Alien Isolation, which was a kind of a sort of stealthy or first person stealth, kind of in the vein of Outlast, but with Alien. But wouldn't you know it, it's a mobile game. The collective sigh of everybody else. So, yeah. Moving on. FIFA 19 streamers buying lots and lots of FUT, or FIFA Ultimate Team packs. So, this week there was a kind of event where EA put in a lot of really high level cards into the FUT, the Ultimate Team packs. So if you're not familiar, the Ultimate Team thing is a loot box basically of different FIFA players that you can buy. So you buy a loot box and you will randomly receive various players, and these particular players for the Team of the Year Ultimate or whatever you call it are very, very high level, but with very, very low chance of you actually getting them. A less than 1% chance, in fact. Less than 1% of you getting a Team of the Year player. Less than 1%, is that, 0.09%? Or is that 0.0, lots of zeros? 1%, you don't know. Could be anything. Either way, very low. And spending, exorbitant amounts of money. That's just so bad, and this can only end very badly for the game industry. This is not going to end well for anybody. People spending a lot of money. There's a couple of different video clips here of people trying to buy and trying to get these cards. It's even more ridiculous because once FIFA 20 comes out, they're useless. So I don't know. People are dumb, I guess. What's over here? Anyway. Bowsette originator receives trophy from Pitchford. So this is the originator of the Bowsette comic strip that I showed last year. Has received recognition from Pitchford and a couple of different places for creating a photo trend last year. So even if Nintendo doesn't recognize Bowsette, at least somebody does. The internet does, at least. Facebook rejects Gris ad for sexually suggestive content. So this earlier in the week, Devolver Digital essentially tweeted that Facebook rejected their ad for this still image, and Facebook saying that suggestive nudity. All I can say is, there's nothing happening down here, so I can't say there's anything sexually suggestive in this particular still image. So Devolver had this to say about it, and basically saying how stupid it was. They eventually posted things like this image not getting flagged, but later on Facebook came back to say it wasn't actually that image, wasn't why the ad was rejected. It was because of the Instagram landing page that they were linking to, which had this picture on it with big old booty, and that is apparently against the Facebook advertising policies. So there you go. Plus there's gore and what have you. So well, okay, we're going to enter the Activision block of our news, I guess, because Activision have a couple of different news stories happening this week. So Bungie caves after new Destiny 2 puzzle stumps players. So basically there was an event this week for the Black Forge, or whatever the fuck it's called, in Destiny 2 that required you to solve a puzzle. And apparently players were not good at the puzzle, or the combat around the puzzle wasn't, it was too difficult, so they were finding it very hard. Either way, Bungie have pulled the plug on the puzzle, so now you do not have to solve the puzzle in order to get the goodies at the end of whatever this event is. That's kind of shitty, honestly. Just caving immediately on what was probably, a lot of design work for the developers. I'm not saying that bad design should be honed to just because you spend a lot of time on it. That's the sunk cost fallacy, but it's still kind of shitty in my opinion. Let's see what other news we got for Activision. So this was very big news. Bungie and Activision have parted ways, and Bungie get to keep the Destiny IP. So this essentially makes Destiny an independent game, because they don't have a publisher. They're self-publishing it, so that makes it independent, which is weird. It's probably one of the highest blockbustery type independent titles. So that's pretty cool. But that's going to have some problems down the line. Where are they getting the money from? Is there investorship, or are they relying solely on sales of Destiny 1 and Destiny 2? Still, it's good news. It does kind of get them out from underneath Activision's kind of annualized thing. We need a new game every year. It gets them away from that. They can spend a bit more time making hopefully a much better experience for everybody. Get away from a lot of the mandates from Activision, from having that kind of adding loot boxes to Destiny, making shaders consumable, and all that business. I can kind of see all of that coming from Activision, but we don't know. It's possible Bungie mandated that themselves. I doubt it, but it's possible. It's possible, I guess. And another news story about himself. Is it here? It's here. Mike Morhaime will be departing Activision Blizzard, this April. So if you're not familiar with Mike Morhaime, he's been with Blizzard since Warcraft. He kind of pioneered Warcraft with Blizzard. So him stepping down, and this is coupled with a lot of other roles being shaken up and losing people in the last couple of years. Last couple of months. So they've lost like 2 CFOs. They've shuffled a lot of the other executive level positions, mostly having extra Activision people instead of Blizzard people. So if you've been seeing all the changes coming to like Heroes of the Storm and Hearthstone and World of Warcraft, Diablo, and all those kind of things, things aren't looking good with Activision and Blizzard. Basically, that's what I'm saying on that. So Epic Store news. The Division 2 won't be on Steam. It'll be exclusive to the Epic Games Store. Now, I have no particular interest in the Division 2, but if this is a portent of things to come, I think a lot of us can agree that exclusives, while good for people who own the console, it's kind of shitty for people who don't. Not everybody can afford to buy a Nintendo Switch and a PS4 and an Xbox 360 and then have Steam and Epic and Uplay and the Blizzard launcher and so on. It's requiring a lot of shit from people, and exclusives they're not good. They're not good for the consumer. They're good for the producer. They're good for the developer. They're not good for the actual consumer, for the player, in my opinion. Is this a timed exclusive? I don't know. Doesn't look like it. But I don't know, because Ubisoft publish the Division 2, so they already have Uplay anyway, so I imagine it'll be on that as well. Unless I am... Yes, will also be released on the Uplay platform. So it's not exactly exclusive to Epic, but it won't be on Steam, which is kind of a big deal. This is the football thing, which I already talked about. And that's the Bungie thing. Okay, continuing with Epic Games Store news. You can look at this as the PSA block, if you like, of today's news. What Remains of Edith Finch is currently free on the Epic Games Store, so if you have an Epic Games account, or if you want a free game, I guess you can sign up and get all that shit. I enjoyed What Remains of Edith Finch. I did kind of find it a little bit indulgent, and not a ton to do with the game. I know a lot of people did like it, and there are definitely certain scenarios in the game that I did enjoy and did kind of connect with a lot. So, it's free. Give it a go. It's free in the sense that you don't have to pay anything, but you do have to install another launcher on your PC. So, that's up to you, whichever one you want to do. The Resident Evil 2 demo is out. It is a 30-minute limited demo. You get one shot at it per account. So if you have multiple accounts, you get many shots at it. I personally am not playing it. I want to go into the main game. I want to take my time with it. I don't want to be rushing to see how much I can get done in 30 seconds. But it is currently available on PS4 and Xbox One. So if you don't want to go in cold, you can go right ahead and check that out. And more PSA stuff. The God Eater 3 action demo, whatever that means, maybe there's just no story in it, that's all they mean, is also available on PSN anyway. I don't know about Xbox. Just says PlayStation. That's also available on the PSN store. Again, this one is limited. It will be gone this weekend. So this is your one and only opportunity to get a demo to play God Eater 3. I've heard good things about God Eater in the past. Not entirely sure what kind of game it is. I think it's kind of a Soulsy type thing, but I don't know. I'm going to give it a shot, see what it's like. Iconoclasts is getting a limited physical edition release from Limited Run Games. Limited Run Games do these kind of sort of indie projects for games that are normally digital release only, and if they're well received by the gaming community, they sometimes get physical releases. So Iconoclasts appeared on the YouTube channel last year in January. I thought it was really good. I finally got back around to playing it and finishing it recently. It's a top-notch story. I really, really enjoyed it. Whether I enjoyed it or not to get a physical edition, I don't know, maybe. We'll see what the pricing is like. But this is what it is. You get the game, obviously, for your platform of choice. PS4, Switch, what have you. There's a Switch version there, there's a PS4 version there. It comes with an old-style Nintendo box, one of the big landscape-style ones. Get the soundtrack, you get a double-sided poster. Get a couple of good things. These limited run stuff are pretty good. I got one for, I don't think it was limited run, it might have been somebody else, but I got one for Hyper Light Drifter, which that's pretty cool. I like that. Kotaku telling me to do things. Right, so this is a bit of a weird story, and it's still kind of in development. So, former Gearbox lawyer accuses CEO Randy Pitchford of taking secret $12 million bonus. Hang on. Yeah, $12 million bonus in lawsuit Gearbox calls absurd. In lawsuit Gearbox calls absurd? No. Square brackets update. Okay, so let's unpack this one. So, former general counsel. So, general counsel would be their lead lawyer, if you like, their general counsel. For Studio Gearbox. So Gearbox made the Borderlands franchise and also Aliens Colonial Marines, which was not a good game. So they're accusing Randy Pitchford of taking this kind of secret $12 million bonus from Take-Two Interactive, who were in the process of publishing Borderlands. So one, that's bad. Gearbox are saying this is bullshit. This is also coming on the foot of Gearbox having sued this particular general counsel for fraud earlier in the year. So who knows who's talking what at this point. The other kind of wrinkle though is where are we here? So there's another allegation within this lawsuit that Randy Pitchford lost a USB drive that contained Randy Pitchford's personal collection of underage pornography. Okay, yeah, that's a problem. So, yeah. I'm sort of hoping that this is absurd and, bullshit, and this is just the general counsel throwing anything at the wind just to see what sticks. But Randy Pitchford also strikes me as not a particularly great person, so I can't say I'd be surprised. But still, this is some bullshit. But yeah, this news story is developing. This only went live yesterday, midday, and we're still getting updates on it. So who knows? We may have something to say about it next week. Continuing, Fallout 76's fucking train wreck. Fallout 76 developer room discovered containing every item in the game. So this is a kind of secret area in the map that had everything in it and was supposed to be excluded from the general population, but they've managed to find a way in, and they can just take whatever they want out of it. And it apparently also contains the game's only NPC, which is actually pretty funny. But yeah, Fallout 76 continues to trip over its own feet. And last news story for today, Kingdom Hearts 3 has an epilogue that will be patched in after launch. So this is news that Kingdom Hearts 3 coming out the end of this month. So this was kind of to avoid the game ending up on the internet before its release date and people spoiling the ending and so on. So the actual 1.0 version of the software does not contain the secret ending, the epilogue, and a couple of other cutscenes are also missing from it. So in one way this is good in that it does avoid spoilers. And, you know, I'm always about, you know, not spoiling things for people, particularly before they've even had a chance to possibly experience it themselves. But also, if people do not have an internet connection, they can't get these videos. Now, you might say that's ridiculous to expect people who don't have an internet connection, but at the same time, they are purchasing a boxed copy that should be a complete thing, and it isn't. I don't think that's great for the consumer, in my opinion. I applaud them trying to, you know, stop spoilers, but spoilers are kind of a thing. It's really up to yourself to just avoid them. I think at the risk of neutering your own product, which is what they've done. I mean, typically you're supposed to review something based on its first version. You're not supposed to review it based on its giant patch that it gets the next day. I agree this is a thing that happens in the industry and it's become commonplace to, you know, patch things in. This is kind of a weird one in that they purposely kept things out. And again, good that they're trying to avoid spoilers, bad that it affects the end product for people who either do not have an internet connection or are on a metered internet connection and they just don't have the data allowance to be downloading things that should already be in the product. So, I don't know. So that's the news for this week. That's the 6th of January to the 12th of January, and all articles are current? Yes. All articles are current as of 5:25 p.m. my time. Thanks for checking this out. What did I want to say? Oh, yes. Again, there'll be another news, weekly news thing next week. And I have an intention to go live again later on today. So yesterday I did a stream for New Super Mario Bros. U, which was just released yesterday. But wouldn't you know it, my microphone was off. So that was kind of shit. So I'm kind of hoping to do more or less the same stream again later on today. So with the microphone on this time, though. That's the important part. Yeah. Otherwise, thanks for watching. If you have anything to discuss with me about today's news, you can follow me on the Twitters under my face. I will also put these news articles on the description of the YouTube archive, so you can find the YouTube channel, youtube.com/doomtrain5, and twitter.com/doomtrain5 as well, and the twitch.tv/doomtrain5. It's all doomtrain5 all day, every day. Go. I don't know why I ever picked that username, but it's kind of stuck now. Anyway, see you later maybe, or otherwise I'll see you next week, or I don't know, I don't see you at all, you're just a camera to me. Anyway.